This course is sponsored by Wounded Warrior Project. We would like to thank Wounded Warrior Project for their generosity in making this course possible.
Hi, I'm retired Lieutenant General Mike Linnington, CEO of Wounded Warrior Project. We are thrilled to work alongside PsychArmor to help bring greater awareness of our veterans and military communities through its series of military culture courses. Since 2003, Wounded Warrior Project has been transforming the way America's injured veterans are empowered, employed, and engaged in our communities. And we simply couldn't do it without organizations and individuals who believe as passionately as we do in serving those who have served and sacrificed so much on our behalf. That's why it's so important to inform and educate our citizens on military and veteran culture, so they can understand their needs and learn how to best support our brave military men and women while in uniform and once they transition back into civilian life. On behalf of our entire team at Wounded Warrior Project, thank you for supporting warriors and their families.
Hello, and welcome to this presentation of S.A.V.E, #BeThere. This course is brought to you by the Department of Veterans Affairs in collaboration with PsychArmor Institute. My name is Megan McCarthy, and I am the Deputy Director for Suicide Prevention in the Veterans Health Administration, Office of Mental Health and Suicide Prevention. Our hope for this course is that each of our learners will recognize that we all have a role in suicide prevention. Each of us has the opportunity to be that one person who makes a difference, the person who asks the question that can save a veteran's life, or the life of any person struggling with thoughts of suicide. By the end of this course, the learner will be able to, first, develop a general understanding of the problem of suicide in the United States. Second, understand how to identify a veteran who might be at risk for suicide. And third, know what to do if you identify a veteran at risk. Suicide is a serious public health problem in the United States. Every 12 minutes, someone dies by suicide in our country, making suicide the 10th leading cause of death among Americans. In America, suicides among veterans have received a great deal of attention in recent years. The estimated number of veterans who die by suicide each day in America has changed from year to year, but several factors about veteran suicide have remained constant. For instance, veterans account for 18% of adult suicides in the United States, even though veterans comprise only about 9% of the U.S. adult population. In addition, we know that veterans are more likely to use firearms as a means for suicide than people in the general population. Another thing we know for sure, all branches of the military and the VA are absolutely committed to preventing suicide among our country's heroes. So what is S.A.V.E? S.A.V.E is a VA suicide prevention training intended to help everyone who cares about veterans understand the facts about suicide. S.A.V.E helps people identify a veteran at risk, and it provides information about what to do to help a veteran in distress. We all have a role in suicide prevention, and each one of us can help save the life of a veteran who is struggling. The first step is to understand some of the most commonly held beliefs about suicide and understand what is true and what is a myth. With this knowledge, we can all be there and make a difference in the lives of the veterans around us. Number 1, if somebody really wants to die by suicide, he or she will find a way to do it. This is absolutely not true. The fact is that making one form of suicide less convenient does not lead people to just attempt a different way. In fact, it can lead to a decrease in suicide. Perhaps the greatest evidence we have that death by suicide is preventable is related to limiting access to lethal means. It's an important and fascinating connection that has been demonstrated in multiple studies. We know that access to the means to kill yourself is an important risk factor for dying by suicide. Many studies show that most, but not all, suicidal crises are relatively brief, lasting minutes to hours. So if we can build in time and space between the decision to attempt suicide and the ability to do so for just a few hours, we will save lives. In addition, we know from decades of research that the overwhelming majority of people, around 90%, do not substitute one method for another if they survive a suicidal crisis. That is, 90% of people do not go on to die by suicide if their first attempt does not result in death. Here's an example of what we're talking about. After World War II, suicide rates in the United Kingdom were increasing, and a substantial percentage of the people who were dying by suicide were dying by suffocation, using the carbon monoxide gas in their home ovens. After the UK switched to using gas that had a very low carbon monoxide content, preventing people from taking their lives using their ovens, the suicide rate in the UK dropped by 43%. The interesting thing was that people did not replace it with another means. And this pattern has been found over the years by a number of other studies in many different countries. We know that the overwhelming majority of people who die by suicide have a diagnosable mental health condition at the time of their death. S.A.V.E. is about preventing a crisis before it happens. If you can learn a little bit about the best ways to encourage a veteran in your life to get the help he or she needs and get connected with potentially life-saving treatment before a potential crisis, you have made a difference for that person. Please don't be afraid to talk to veterans in your life who might be at risk about the importance of safely storing weapons and medication. Open communication and collaboration can be the key to saving someone's life. Number 2, asking about suicidal thoughts or plans may lead someone to take his or her life. This is also not true. The truth is that asking someone you are concerned about if he or she is thinking about suicide does not create suicidal thoughts. On the contrary, asking this simple question gives people permission to talk about their thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it can be just one person who cares enough to ask, "How are you?" and then takes the time to really listen to the answer. That saves a life. Number 3, there are talkers and there are doers. You've probably heard this one too, that people who really want to take their lives don't talk about it, and that the people who are talking about it aren't going to do it. This is absolutely not true. Research demonstrates that most people who are considering suicide show signs of serious distress and/or talk specifically about death or suicide. The truth is that many people who die by suicide have communicated that they were in crisis, that they had suicidal thoughts or plans to someone in their lives. In other words, many people who die by suicide or attempt suicide have given some clue or warning that they have been struggling a lot. Someone who talks openly about suicide provides others with an opportunity to help before the situation gets worse. Suicide threats should never be ignored and should always be taken seriously. No matter how casually the person speaks about it, statements like, "You'll be sorry when I'm dead," or "I can't see any way out," may indicate very serious suicidal feelings. Number 4, a person won't die by suicide if he or she has just made plans for a vacation, has young children at home, made a verbal or written promise to someone, or knows how much he or she is loved by his or her family. This is also not true. While planning for the future or having loving family and children at home can sometimes be protective factors for suicide, the intent to die can arise suddenly and override rational or logical thinking. Veterans who are experiencing suicidal thoughts and plans must be taken seriously and referred to a clinician who can evaluate and treat them. S.A.V.E. provides a way for all of us to act with care and compassion if we encounter a veteran in distress. Think S.A.V.E. to remember the important steps in preventing suicide. S is for signs. Learn to recognize the signs that indicate someone may be thinking about suicide. A is for ask. Ask the most important question of all. V is for validate. It is crucial to validate the veteran's experience and make him or her feel understood and supported. E is for encourage and expedite. It's important to encourage veterans to get treatment and to expedite them getting help. Let's go through each of these steps in more detail. S is for signs. There may be several signs or clues that you can observe in veterans' thoughts, feelings, and behavior that a veteran is considering suicide and needs our help. Hopelessness. This is feeling like there is no way out. Anxiety, agitation, insomnia, or mood changes. Feeling there is no reason to live. Rage or anger. Increasing alcohol or drug use. Withdrawal from family or friends. In addition, any of the following signs require immediate medical or emergency intervention. Thoughts of hurting or killing him or herself. Looking for ways to die. Talking about death, dying, or suicide. Self-destructive or risk-taking behavior, especially including alcohol, drugs, or weapons. A is for ask. It is vital that we all know to ask the most important question of all. Are you thinking about killing yourself? Some things to consider. Do ask the question whenever you have seen the warning signs we've discussed here. Do ask the question in a natural way. Let it be part of the conversation as if it were a natural thing to talk about, because it is. This reduces stigma and helps the veteran feel more comfortable talking about it with you. Please don't ask the question in a way that sounds like you're expecting a no answer. For instance, you aren't thinking of suicide, are you? Please don't wait to ask the question until the veteran is, or you are, leaving. Give yourself time to talk about this. It's that important. Other things to think about. Stay calm. Listen more than you speak. Make eye contact and keep it. Look confident. Don't argue with the veteran. Let your body language be open and comforting. Make your comments encouraging and supportive. And be honest, this is a difficult situation and the answer is not a quick fix, but there is help available. V is for validate. Validate the veteran's experience. Talk openly about suicide. Listen and allow the veteran to talk, no matter what he or she is feeling. Acknowledge that the situation is serious, but do not judge. Reassure the veteran that help is available and you will help him or her find it. E is for encourage treatment and expedite getting help. What should I do if I think a veteran is suicidal? Do not keep it a secret. Do not leave the veteran alone. Try to get the veteran immediate help from his or her doctor, from the nearest ER, or from 911. Reassure the veteran that help is available. You can call the Veterans Crisis Line at 1-800-273-8255. Press 1 for veterans. Text the Veterans Crisis Line at 838-255 or visit veteranscrisisline.net and click on the upper right corner of the screen to enter the confidential Veterans Chat. The responders at the Veterans Crisis Line are there to serve all veterans and anyone who is trying to help a veteran. Please provide this number to any veteran or friend or family member of a veteran. A few important safety issues to cover. Never negotiate with someone who has a gun. Please get to safety and call 911. If the veteran has taken pills, cut him or herself, or done harm to him or herself in some other way, call 911 immediately. Here are some important resources to know about. VA clinical and suicide prevention support. The Veterans Health Administration provides specialty inpatient and outpatient mental health services at its medical centers and community-based outpatient clinics. All mental health care provided by VA supports recovery, which is striving to enable a person with mental health problems to live a meaningful life in the community and achieve his or her full potential. In addition, each VA medical center has a suicide prevention coordinator to ensure veterans get connected with the care and support they've earned. Visit the resource locator under the Get Help tab of the veteranscrisisline.net website to find your nearest resource. There are many, such as the Suicide Prevention Coordinator, VA Medical Center, or VET centers. VET centers are VA community-based centers that provide a range of counseling, outreach, and referral services. They have access to VA medical records, but their records are kept separate. Make the connection. This is a one-stop online resource where veterans and their families can confidentially explore information on their own time about mental health symptoms, challenging life events, and mental health conditions. On this site, veterans and their families and friends can learn about available resources and support. In addition, many veterans tell their own stories here, reducing stigma and normalizing what veterans might be feeling. PTSD-specific veteran resources. Each VA medical center has PTSD specialists who provide treatment for veterans with PTSD. This includes the PTSD coaching app, which allows phone users to manage their symptoms, links them with local sources of support, and provides information on PTSD. Finally, there's the Veterans and Military Crisis Line, which has responders working around the clock to answer calls and texts or chats from veterans who need them. To wrap up our training today, we are proud to present role plays. In each case, we will see someone come into contact with a veteran who is struggling and who expresses some suicidal thinking or plan. Please consider how scenarios like this might play out in your own lives as you think about using the steps of S.A.V.E. to make a difference and save a veteran's life.
Bob, a visitor at the Cabrillo National Cemetery in San Diego, is leaving after visiting the gravesite of a friend when he spots a man, Dave, in a ball cap that says Vietnam Veteran, standing near the entrance to the parking lot, staring blankly toward the cemetery.
Evening, sir. Can I help you?
Nope. I came to visit my buddy's grave.
Did you find the gravesite all right?
Yeah. Not that it matters. Not that anything matters anymore.
I'm sorry to hear things were tough for you today. My name's Bob. What's your name?
Dave.
Nice to meet you, Dave. You're a Vietnam veteran, I see? Me too. I was here visiting an old friend.
Yeah. Long time ago. Wish I could go back. Hell on earth, and it was better than my life is now.
What do you mean by that, Dave?
There's no reason for me to be here anymore. I've lost everyone. I've lost everything. What's the point? Everyone would be better off if I was dead.
Sure sounds like things have been very tough for you lately, Dave. I'm worried about some of the things you've said. Are you thinking about killing yourself?
Can't kill someone who's already dead. But yeah, I have been for a long time. Think today is my lucky day. See ya.
Dave, these things you're saying are really serious. I'd like to help you. There are people who are experts at the feelings you're having, and they can get you treatment. It really works, and things do get better.
It's too late for me.
It's never too late. Come on over here with me. Let's call the Veterans Crisis Line together.
Maria is a county employee who manages phone scheduling for a busy case management division. She receives a phone call from a patient who is established with one of their case managers. The patient, Liz, is a 32-year-old veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom who has been seen by a behavioral health clinician for the past 6 months.
Good morning. How can I help you today?
I want to cancel my appointment with Miss Smith.
Okay, I see that you were scheduled to see her tomorrow. When is a good time to reschedule?
I won't be rescheduling.
I see. Do you mind if I ask the reason?
She was helpful and I appreciate her. Please tell her that for me. But all this is over. The demons are too great. I just can't do it anymore. I'm done. I can't go on.
Liz, are you thinking about killing yourself?
Yes. I'm doing it today. I'm here at home and I have all my pills.
Liz, I can tell things feel really difficult for you right now. It's important that you know that help is available for you. And we have people who are trained to be able to assist when things feel this bad.
It's too late for me.
It's never too late for anyone. There is hope for all of us. Would you allow me to connect you to the Veterans Crisis Line? They can help you right now. I'll stay with you until they answer.
What if I say no?
I'm here with you now, and I won't leave until you're ready for me to. It's important to me that you get the help to get you through this.
Thanks, but no thanks.
911, what is your emergency?
Hello, I'm a county employee, and I just got off the phone with a veteran who expressed that she's going to take her own life by overdosing on pills. I couldn't convince her to come in or to go to the ER. She hung up on me. I do have her address and phone number. Would you please send someone right away?
Jill, an employee at a veteran service organization, meets Rick, a 25-year-old Operation Enduring Freedom veteran, to discuss the findings of his claim after he called to make an appointment because he didn't understand the letter that came in the mail about his benefits.
Welcome to the Veteran Service Office, Rick. Nice to meet you. My name is Jill. How can I help you?
How can this be right? It says 30%. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't hold a job, I've lost my family, I might even lose my home. Everything is all f***ed up. It's all because of everything that happened out there. I was fine before the war. They did this to me, and now I'm worth 30%?
I'm so sorry things have been difficult lately. It sounds like you disagree with the findings. Let me take a look and see what we can do to help. It looks like your claim is based on your records from mental health, both on active duty and at the VA, as well as your evaluating physician's assessment. The determination is based on PTSD, but I don't see anything else included. Does that sound like I have the correct information?
That's BS. I was totally knocked unconscious in that blast. I'm all f***ed up, and I can't sleep.
Sir, I can tell this is really frustrating for you. It can be challenging to understand everything going on with your providers. I can definitely help you get started in an appeals process and help coordinate what we'll need to make that happen.
Forget it. Just forget it. No one understands. They never did. I'm just gonna go home and finally get some sleep. Doesn't matter if I ever wake up.
Sir, please wait. I'm worried about some of the things you've said. I can tell this is such a tough time for you. What can I do to help you right now?
Nothing. This is all just over. All of it.
Rick, please don't leave. I'm really worried about that statement. Are you thinking of killing yourself?
I never thought it would come to that, but there doesn't seem to be another choice.
There are other choices, and there is hope. There are experts who are standing by to help in situations exactly like this. Let's get you talking to one and set you up with an appointment. I can help with that.
Another shrink? No thanks.
This is different. This is about how you're feeling right now and how that pain is playing out right now for you. These people are trained to help. They help veterans like you every day. I'll be here with you. Come on, sit down.
For all of you who might be gatekeepers for our veterans in so many important roles in their lives, you have the ability to save a life. Each of us, if we act with confidence and calmness and remember S.A.V.E, can make the difference that gives a veteran hope in a time of crisis. Remember the steps of S.A.V.E. Know the signs. Ask the question. Validate the veteran's feelings. Encourage getting help and expedite treatment. Thank you for taking the time to learn this vital information. Armed with S.A.V.E, you can be the person who makes that all-important difference in a veteran's life. Thank you for all you do. Be there.
If you have any questions or need assistance, go to the PsychArmor website or call the PsychArmor support line at 844-779-2427. Thank you for completing this course and taking that one step further in learning about our American veterans.